Remote control. ITAM has a remote control feature for discovered systems. Target systems need to have a VNC product installed. To do this, and to run remote control, and to install it, we go to Settings, Remote Control, to define the VNC settings like the target VNC port. Once installed, we can start remote control in one of two ways. Either from the Discovered Nodes screen, we have a little either green or red button that says RC for remote control, or when we're at the actual summary and inventory of a particular item, there's an action we can take called remote control. To change the target settings, we need to edit the configuration file of the ultravnc.ini. This is documented in the following video. In this example, we're going to show you how to set up and create remote control access to machines. So ultimately we want to use the VNC application to dial into machines to remote control to do whatever needs to be done. Firstly, we go to Settings, we go down to the option of remote control, and what we're going to have to do is enable it for VNC. We're going to use the IP address in this occasion rather than the host name. The server port's there for us. We don't need to touch the default password. The VNC version is fine as is. So at this stage, we're happy. We save it, and we've switched on the configuration for VNC remote control. What we then have done, or what I've then done, is I have downloaded Ultra VNC, I've unzipped it, and I have installed it on my machine. The reason for doing that is because in this Ultra VNC ini file, there is a preset password that we can utilize and use. To prove that point, if I right-click on VNC and admin properties, you can see the ini file has input those IDs and passwords for us. The reason for why that's a good thing is we want to ultimately install this software as a package within ITAM. To do this, we need to zip up this information and this folder to ensure we do this correctly. We mentioned the other day about creating zip files in a folder that was accurate, so we need to do the same thing. To do that, I find my folder of Ultra VNC, I right-click, I 7-zip it, and I add it to the 7-zip folder, which I've done now. So within this newly created zip file, which is called Ultra VNC zip, I have my folder and my data in it. That's what we have to do to create our configuration and software download within ITAM. Upon completion, we can jump back into ITAM and set underway our creation of the software package. Having jumped back into Assist, we go back to Settings, we navigate down to Package and Policy Management. Some options here, we've talked about these in the last few days. You've got software package, script package, and power policy. Well, power policy is not relevant to this. We need to be installing our new VNC package using a script. The reason being the software package is it will just install the relevant exe, whereas what we want to do is we want to be able to be installing the ini files that go with it, which is what we need for this to run properly. So I go back to my package and policy. I'm going to click on a script package, and you'll notice, as luck would have it, here's install VNC. Now this obviously would not be there, but we did this earlier as an example, just to show you, to save a bit of time. You can see we've got it set as a batch job. We're going to take the zip file. We always take agent, no matter what we're doing. I've given it a name of install Ultra VNC, described it. I've pointed to the file, which we created earlier. I could have clicked on upload to find it, but it's the one I did earlier. And I want it to run the uvnc_install.bat. We're good. As I've had this done already, I don't have to save it, it's done already. I could click on update, but for the minute I'm going to click on cancel because I have my my script package there and done. Upon completion of our package and policy management, we need to schedule this installation. So to do that, we go to IT Automation and we go to Automation Tasks. So IT Automation, Automation Tasks. We jump along to Script Execution. We execute a custom script. And in this example, once again, as we've used the last few days, last few sessions, I'm going to go to the node level. I'm going to search to find a laptop to install this software on, which will be mine. I add that. I've picked my laptop. I nixed it. I pick the software I want to install, my Ultra VNC, and I nixed it. Now this SSH is all to do with Linux. I can skip this completely. I prefer to click on Next, but skip will do the job as well. Okay, best click on skip. Schedule it once, monthly, weekly. I'm going to do it once. I'm going to retry for 50 minutes. I'm going to save it as ACVNC install. I save it. The tool will now schedule my VNC install to happen. To view that, I can check my automation task status and I can see how well that installation has progressed. Now it may take a few minutes for that to happen, but when it does, we can guarantee you that upon completion, that software will be installed on that laptop. It is silent, no one will see it, it will just appear. For time saving, I'm not going to wait for this completion to happen. So what I'm going to show you is talk you through what the next step is. So if I was to go to inventory and to discovery, and I'm going to view my machine of 03382, I'm going to select it, and we can see more about this particular machine as we've seen in previous examples. The point of doing the VNC connection and download is to be able to go to Actions and Remote Control. That option, I can tell you, was not there until we installed that software. I now click on Remote Control. I want to do a direct connection. I want to proceed. Yes, I do. I get a little error message. I want to proceed. And the tool will then dial in to my machine. Unfortunately, because I've got conflicts of my machine and remoting my machine, I get an error message. In reality, when that happens for you guys, it will not happen. It will just take you in to that machine. This then concludes the creation and downloading of VNC, the amending of the relevant files, the rezipping of the VNC, the software distribution of VNC, and then the taking of the action of remote control.